You gotta get into the groove.
Well, good morrow, gentle folk. So we did a review on the Springfield Saint 308 pistol, and as promised, we did some gel testing on it as well. But while we were out there, the chronograph was not cooperating. So I didn't get, well, I count velocities, but I'm pretty sure they were wrong because they were in the neighborhood of like 700 or 800 feet per second or something like that. It's something just ridiculous. The chronograph was producing fictional figures. So I have to get some more velocities. I figured I may as well bring you lovely folks along with me. Why not? So that's what we're out here for. I'm gonna set up my old chronograph, which should hopefully be more accurate if less convenient. And we're gonna get some velocities on this Saint 308 pistol. But at the same time, I figured it would be a good opportunity to tell you about a few things. For one, this lovely place we live in here. The neat thing about Arizona, which a lot of people don't know, the neat thing about most of the West, the real West, is that we've got a bunch of public land. And by public land, I mean land that is owned by the public. That is, this is all BLM land. That's Bureau of Land Management. There's also state trust lands out here. And there are all the BLM land. Well, most of the BLM land is open to the public for shooting. Up until fairly recently, it was ugly. I mean, you can see that it's still kind of trashed, but it was just undeveloped entirely. There's just places where you could go and you could shoot and not get run off of there. But recently, the Bureau of Land Management has started improving these sites, making the roads a little nicer and shutting off some of the areas where people shouldn't be shooting because either they're trampling all over the plants and wildlife and whatnot and just ruining stuff, or it's just not safe for them to be shooting in that particular spot. And they've been improving the roads and stuff. Pretty neat. They have to close the place down so that they can improve it, but in the long run, that we end up with a nicer spot for shooting. And it rubs my libertarian knickers in the wrong direction to have the government managing things. On the other hand, it's pretty cool to have some places that you can go outdoors and do outdoorsy things. And in places like Texas, where they think they're the West, but they're not really, they don't have anything like that. It's almost entirely private land. So it's just one more reason Arizona is better than Texas. The other thing I wanted to chat with you folks about is my Patreon page. And I know you hear that from a lot of YouTubers and whatnot. I don't post nearly as much content to my own channel anymore on account of I work for ARFCOM. If they're willing to pay me, why would I post stuff to my channel just for fun if I can put in a little bit more effort and get paid to do it? However, I do post occasionally. Sometimes I post behind the scenes stuff. Sometimes I post raw, unedited video and preview type things, stuff we're working on. That sort of stuff gets posted to my Patreon account for supporters or whatever. Maybe it's worth it to you. Maybe it's not. Sometimes I post data up there. I post all kinds of weird stuff there, and You'll just have to take a look and decide for yourself whether it's worth it. But everybody, all of my Patreon supporters, regardless of how much you feel it's worth it, everybody gets access to it. And I set the lowest tier at $1. So if you want to become a Patreon supporter just for a month and take a look at what's on there, kick me $1. Why not? I like money. You like money? That's so weird. Oh, shit. I have the wrong number of these parts. I need 4 of them, and I only have 3. So this may be unsuccessful. I did, thankfully, remember to bring my battery, because my lovely wife asked me just as I was pulling out of the driveway. She says, do you have everything? You know, she always does this. She always wants to take care of me, make sure I have all the things that I need. And being the asshole I am, so I'm a bit spoiled. I'm like, yeah, I got it. Yeah, I got it. And then she said, do I have the batteries? And I'm like, oh shit, yeah. I did not, in fact, have the batteries, but she reminded me. So I got a 9-volt battery at the last second, and we ought to be able to do this thing. I think what I'm going to do, got these. I'm missing one rod. Not sure. I can probably MacGyver something to make this work. I got some tape. Probably what I'll end up doing. All these sunshades do is literally shade the sun from hitting it directly, as long as the sun's at a pretty low angle, so I really shouldn't need these, but ooh, I'm getting a little low on tape here. This should be probably, I think, maybe just enough to get her done. That'll be ugly, but I think it'll work. That'll work. That's the ticket. So, I post data on there. I post high-speed videos sometimes. I post things that just don't make it onto the ARFCOM channel, and behind the scenes, embarrassing things that I'm gonna have to make you pay for. I don't know. Should I start an OnlyFans? Would you guys enjoy an OnlyFans? Oh, I also do. I do giveaways for the Patreon supporters as often as I can. I'm lazy, so that's not that often. But as often as I think about it, as often as I can, I'll post. Doing the GunTuber stuff, I get these things, and I'm like, I can't use this, or I don't want it, or whatever. So I give it to the Patreon supporters, and what I do is I post a video to the Patreon supporters first, give them first crack at it. If nobody takes it, I'll publish it to the rest of y'all, but I usually do. Other than that, that's definitely, that exists. So let me get this thing set up and we'll get some velocity. Okay, so first up is going to be this Tula, shit, I forgot. I want to say it's 165 grain soft point. Two 116, 2 123, 2110, 2117, 2122. Is that 5? I think that was 5. 2115. Oh, I got one more. 2092. Next up is Federal 150 grain power shock. Two, 389. 2402, 2404, 2410, 2423. Alrighty, that's what we came for. Well, friends, I hope you enjoyed the nerdery stuff. Like I said, join my Patreon. $1, not that big of a deal.
I'd buy that for $1.
You'll get access to a whole lot of nerd stuff that, like, if you started watching this channel because you geek out on the nerdery like I do, there's a lot more of that stuff on the Patreon side. I have to be entertaining and fun and interesting for ARFCOM, and there's a lot of times where I just like to geek out on velocities and terminal performance and stuff like that that doesn't really play well on ARFCOM. So go to the Patreon, kick in $1. I'm gonna go clean up out here because every time I come out here I prefer to leave it a little bit nicer than I found it. I don't get it. Stuff like this isn't even really fun to shoot because the bullets just kind of poke holes and occasionally break pieces off. But it's not like, I think people bring stuff like this out expecting it to like explode and shatter into a million pieces when they shoot it, and then just like poke. They're like, aw, whatever. You do you, boo. But then, could you pick this shit up? Assholes. I'm sorry, but I am not picking up the pieces of toilet. Fuck that. There are a couple things that people bring out to shoot that aren't so bad. May as well put that a little further down range and make it at least interesting. brought a trash bag, why didn't you use it? And of course, they're just absolute expert marksmen. There's almost always a can of tannerite somewhere up there on the hill that got a grazing hit and everything fell out the side, and they kept plugging away at it and never managed to set it off because they didn't get a good solid hit on it. Well, that's some bullshit. I went ahead and left the rim up there. I don't know if you can see it, but at least that doesn't make a lot of mess. And it is a little bit of a reactive target. If you're a dumbass, you might get hurt because you probably shouldn't shoot at that with pistol rounds. Shoot at it with a rifle, it'll make a little dent. Not going to get all over the place. But yeah, look at this. That's just shameful, to be honest. What a mess. Assholes. Anyway, I love you.